Hey, Terry White here, and before you head out on your photo walk, here's some things to think about and look at if you're going to potentially photograph or shoot things for stock from a legal standpoint. And these are things that always come up, especially for people that are new to the stock photography world. So let's jump in and take a look at some things that are right on the Adobe site that I found for you. All right, so first and foremost, it's legal guidelines for Adobe Stock Contributor Program. It's a catchy title. And again, I don't expect you to remember this URL, but I will. There we go. That way, if you do want to jot this down and go to it on your own, you can read further. But we're going to talk about a couple of specific areas. First and foremost, and this one will come up a lot, and that's the property release and protection. Because you're out on a photo walk, you're more apt to shoot someone's private property. And you may not even know it. It could be something that maybe is not private, but it's a famous landmark, historic location, or modern architecture. So here are all the things that would require the owner or managers of those properties to sign off on before you'd be able to submit it to Adobe Stock. If you're just capturing it for your photo walk, you're fine, you're good to go. But if you're going to use it and try and profit from it with Adobe Stock, or any stock house for that matter, then you might want to check it out and make sure that it would be accepted, because you don't want to waste time doing a lot of capturing for images that would get rejected. So here's some basic bullet points. So famous landmarks, historic locations, and modern architecture. You might think, well, hey, it's a public building. How come I can't photograph it? So that's you can't photograph it. You can't photograph it for profit. Copyrighted works of art like books, maps, fictional characters. So if you're walking by a statue of Superman, I don't know, a figure of Superman, well, that brand is owned by a company. Identifiable exterior or interior private homes or buildings. So if you walk past someone's house and they would easily be able to say, hey, that's my house, then you probably wouldn't be able to sell that without their consent with a property release. Distinctive product shapes like toys, bottles, luxury furniture, vehicles, airplanes, things that we know, for example, that's the headlights of a BMW, even though you didn't capture the grill that says BMW. So again, things that would be easily identifiable. Here's one that got me before, and I didn't really realize this, but unique animals such as racehorses, famous pets, certain zoo animals. And I've submitted zoo animals before. Some got approved, some didn't for this reason. Properties with photography policies, which may include stadiums, museums, concert venues, amusement parks, etc. So anything like that is probably off limits if it's recognizable. So for example, what I mean by recognizable, if I go out and I do a nice wide shot of the new Mercedes-Benz stadium here in Atlanta, well, everyone knows what that is. And even if I don't capture the Mercedes logo on it, we know what that is. But if I capture a section of seats, that could be anywhere and you don't know where those seats are, but it's a nice stock photo of empty seats, then that would be okay. So it's really about what would be identifiable and what wouldn't. Same thing for people. When do you need a model release? And again, ask yourself, would that person recognize themselves in the photo, him or herself? If the answer is yes, then most likely you're going to need a model release signed by that person. If they're underage, signed by that kid and, or maybe not the kid, but the legal guardians of that child. So with that in mind, just keep that, if you're photographing people and we can see their face, that's probably not going to go without a model release. Same thing even if with their clothing. If they're wearing a Nike logo and you have the model release, it's still going to get rejected if you don't remove that Nike logo because the brand is on the shirt. So clothes, identifiable tattoos and birthmarks, it's just always best to think, can someone say this is theirs and they own it and they don't want me selling it? If that's the case, then you need a release from that person, including their likeness, including their face. So keep these things in mind. Go out and have a great photo walk, capture some amazing images, just have fun. But if you are going to be out there capturing and you're thinking, hey, this would make a good stock shot, capture those too, but keep the legalities in mind. All right, everybody, cheers, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next segment.